everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's Thursday and we do budget-friendly home decor. Today I'm going to share with you 4 super easy rustic Christmas DIYs that I think you're really going to enjoy. So if you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, for this first one, I'm taking this sled that I got at the Dollar Tree, and then I'm taking a wooden sled I got at Dollar Tree too, and I'm going to attach the two together with some E6000 glue and a little bit of hot glue to hold in place until that dries. And I'm putting quite a bit of glue on there. And I'm just kind of centering it on the bottom so that it overhangs in the front just a little bit. Taking some Rustoleum oil rub bronze paint. I'm going to paint 2 of the acrylic deer from Dollar Tree and the sled, both top and bottom. Okay, next I'm going to take some faux fur that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to wrap around the top part edge of this sled. Now I'm just kind of measuring around to get my marking on there, and then I'm just going to cut this into 2-inch strips. Now this is a 4-inch piece of faux fur ribbon. Now you could just get regular faux fur by the yard and just, you could probably just do it with maybe 1/4 of a yard. And you're going to cut behind that backing only all the way down until you have enough to do both sides. And we're going to do this in 2 pieces to save some ribbon. We're just going to overlap the 2 pieces right in the center, and this will be our center point on our sled. Just make sure that you get it pretty smoothed out and that the fur is overlapping well, and then go ahead and glue a little bit along the edge to make it flush. And then we're just going to start right in the very center, and we're going to come up about 1/2 inch above the sled and glue that down. We want enough to go ahead and bend over the top part to glue it over. Okay, and then we're just going to keep going all the way around until you have it all the way to the back. Now, we're not going to wrap over the top yet on this piece. We're just going to get the sides down good, and then we're going to go back in and cut a few slits to make it easy to go over the top edge. But just spend a little bit of time getting this glued in well, and then we'll come back in and do the top part. And then I'm going to kind of speed this up so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but it'll be a little bit faster. Just make sure that you are leaving 1/2 inch over the top so it can wrap over the top. Just keep going around until you get to the back, and then we're going to trim it in the middle. Okay, then we're going to just trim it off right here and finish gluing in that edge. And then we're going to start on the opposite side before we glue the back in. Just go ahead and cut some slits right in here. This will help it to go over the top edge. And then you can just glue that in. You'll have to cut the slits though, otherwise you won't be able to get it to go over the edge. And then just finish gluing until you get everything done. Okay, on the opposite side, I started out a little bit different. I went ahead and put a bunch of slits in it all the way down so that I wouldn't have to go through and do this later. Just do like maybe every 1/2 inch or 1 inch all the way down, and then it'll work a little bit easier getting it over the edge. Okay, and then just keep going until you get all the way to the back. Okay, once you get to the back, we're just going to trim that off, and we're just going to overlap these. Next, to fluff it up, I'm just going to use a lint brush, and I'm just going to kind of lightly go over the whole thing. This will kind of fluff it up, not so uniform looking, and make it look a little bit more furry. Next, I'm taking a 1-inch wide strip of the same faux fur. I'm just going to roll the top edge over. That's what's going to be up closer to the top part of his neck. And that way you won't see the edge of that fur on when you're looking down at it. You're just kind of rolling the edge over just a little bit. Okay, then just go ahead and wrap it around your deer's neck, and then you're probably going to have to trim it off. These were just some extra pieces that I had. And then we're just going to glue it right to the back of his neck and then wrap it around and glue it to the other side. Just overlap it. And then do exactly the same thing for your other deer if you're going to put 2 deer in your scene. Okay, just dressed them up a little bit, made them match. Next, I'm just cutting a pool noodle to put down in the bottom of my sled, and I'm going to use this to attach my greenery. Just fit it in there and then go ahead and glue it in. And I'm using some greenery that I got on Amazon. I'll give you the link for it as well as the pine cones, but you could use anything that you want. You just want to go ahead and get it full enough to where you don't see any of the pool noodle underneath it. But I'm going to get mine pretty full in the back, and then I'm going to put some pine cones towards the front. And then I'm putting some other little greenery that I had from a little garland right into the very front. Okay, I think this turned out really pretty. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Very rustic cabin looking. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite today. Okay, if you're enjoying the video today, be sure and give me a like because it really does help with my algorithm and helps my channel. Thank you so much. Next, I'm just going to take 2 of the Dollar Tree wine glasses. I'm going to spray paint them with the oil rub bronze paint. And then I'm going to do the same thing with one of the acrylic deer. Okay, next I'm just going to take some of that same trim that I used earlier, and I'm just going to wrap it right around the bottom of this glass. And you could have gone without painting it, but you do want the stem to be painted. And I'm just going to cut behind the faux fur only in the backing all the way up, and then I'm going to wrap it around. Now this is a piece of 4-inch wide trim. You could just cut from just a regular yardage of faux fur. You don't have to use this trim, but it is 4 inches, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue it to my cup. And if you cut behind the faux fur, you'll see at the edge, the edge to the right, that's the nice finish you get when you do that. You don't get a chopped off edge. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue all the way around the bottom and just make sure it is straight all the way around the bottom so you don't see the glass. And then I'm just going to glue those sides right over the top of the other one. And then you're going to go ahead and finish out the seam right up against the seam with when you pull it back, and then that'll get that hair right there together. Okay, next we're just going to cut 1/2-inch slits all the way down. You're going to go up against the top part of that glass, and then this will help us to be able to glue this to that glass easily, and it'll lay flat. So just go ahead and take some glue and just glue each flap. And you're just going to take a second to do this. You want to make sure you get them overlapped well, but go ahead and make sure you spend some time on this because this is a pretty big focal point. And some of those little flaps will overlap with each other, and that's fine. And then just kind of keep gluing it until you do have it all pushed up to the front, and pull the hair up a little bit around the bottom part of that stem. Just kind of glue that hair on up there. And then kind of go ahead and brush it out. Next, I'm just taking a wooden round that I had that measures 3 1/4 inches in diameter, and I'm going to cut out the faux fur to go around it. And I'm going to leave it enough around the edge so that it can cover up the edge as well. So go ahead and draw with your pencil exactly where you want your line to be, and then go over that probably about 1/4 inch at least. And again, you're just cutting behind the fur, the backing, the lining of the fur only. Okay, next you're just going to go ahead and glue your round right to the center of it. And then we're going to go ahead and glue the edges up the sides. And we're going to use some E6000 glue and some hot glue, and we're just going to attach that wooden round to this cup. Now you got to have to go around the outside edge because there's an indent in the middle and it won't glue. So you want to make sure that you do get it around the edges. And then just put a little bit of hot glue around there as well, and then go ahead and glue it to the center of your round. This is a pretty quick and easy project. Just make sure you get it centered. I'm just using some mini green boxwood garland. I'll give you the link for that on Amazon, and I'm just going to make a wreath right around the deer's neck. And I'm going to wrap it several times because I wanted it to be pretty thick. And then we're just going to glue that on. I'm using a little E6000 glue, and I'm just going to put it on the tips of each one of his legs. Put a little bit of hot glue on there too, and I'm just going to place him right on top. And then just let him dry real good. And then I'm just going to take some of that same garland, and I'm just going to wrap it around the bottom, and I'm going to make a wreath with this, and I'm going to double it up. So I made one, and then I'm going to double it up because I wanted it a little bit thicker, and I added a second one. As you start getting close to the end, just go ahead and start wrapping it around it just to kind of hold it together. And then I'm making the other one exactly the same size just to go over the top of it. Okay, this was pretty simple to do. It really turned out beautiful. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, you don't have to use the trim. You can actually just buy the faux fur by the yard. Maybe a yard would do all of it. Okay, I'm taking these Dollar Tree houses that I had already painted red, and I'm going to spray paint them with Rustoleum oil rub bronze. I just decided to change my mind. So I got these wreaths at Michael's, and I'm just going to cut this one a little bit smaller to make the wreath for the door. And then I'm taking another one to make a garland across the little ledge there. And I'm just going to go ahead and just roll this up and glue this back together. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue it right to the front part of the door. I'm just using some Decor Snow Tex and a chip brush, and I'm just dusting the roof. I'm making it look like it's been dusted by snow. And you can get it as thick as you want or as thin as you want. I did quite a bit, but I still left the roof showing. And then I'm going to do the ledges too, and I'm going to do the wreath and the garland as well. It just gives it a nice soft finish instead of like if you painted it, it would look a little bit different, but it gives it a nice soft finish. And then I'm going to use my fingers to do down the sides on both sides and the top rail because I don't want to get it onto the house, to the face of the house. And I did 3 of these, and these actually light up. Okay, and this is how they look lit up, and I'm just going to add those to a shelf with some trees. Yeah, I think these turned out super pretty. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, for a Dollar Tree house, I think they did turn out pretty well. So I'm just going to take a wine bottle and I'm going to spray paint it with oil rub bronze paint. Next, I'm just taking a 6-inch wooden round that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to take a piece of paper and draw a circle on it. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and that way I can find my center point real easily so that I can go ahead and draw my, cut my hole in it. And then we're just going to fold this in half and then in half again. So we're going to fold it in 4s and then just cut the tip of it off in the center, and that's where your center point will be. Right back on top of my wood, I'm going to draw a little circle in the center, and then I'm going to take a compass and I'm going to make a bigger circle. Now measure how far across your wine bottle is, and that's how big a circle you want to make because you're going to have to put this over the top of the wine bottle. I think mine ended up being about 1 1/4 inches. And then I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife and I'm just going to start carving this. Now, this is going to take you a little bit of time, a long time, but just keep kind of going deeper and deeper and deeper until you get it all the way cut through. Now, if you have a 1.5 inch or 1 1/4 inch hole saw, just cut a hole through it. I just didn't have one that size. After you get your hole cut, just go ahead and sand it, and you're going to sand the inside of the hole too. You want to kind of make sure it's smooth. Next, I got 2 wooden rings the same size as the circle in the center, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach these right on the top and the bottom. And this way it'll give it some stability because this is a thin little piece of wood, and it'll help it to stay straight on top of the bottle. Next, to cover it, I'm taking some furry fleece and I'm just going to go ahead and put it onto the back of it and draw a circle matching it. And then I'm going to cut this one also, just like I did the last project. I'm going to cut about 1/4 inch wider around the circle so that I can wrap the sides. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my ring right down on top of it. Now don't worry because we're going to cut a hole here in the center, but go ahead and glue the whole thing down. And you want to put plenty of glue. And then go ahead and glue it and hold it in place because you want to make sure it's flat. And then we're going to cut through the center and then we're going to start peeling it back. So we'll put little slits in it all the way till you get to the ring. And then you can start making it go up the sides. And I decided to go ahead and paint the backing of it before I did glue it up the sides and in the center. Okay, after that dried, I'm going to go ahead and glue my edges down all the way around to the back and glue it to the back. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put it over the top part of my bottle just to make sure it fits good. And then I'm going to come in with that same 4-inch trim and go ahead and trim out this bottle as well. Next, I'm just going to take a piece of jute and tie it right around the bottle. Make sure that your seam is in the back. Kind of smooth out your fur a little bit. And then I'm going to add a couple of little rusty bells that I got at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to add 2 to the front of it. And I'm just going to go up through the center of those bells just to tie those together, and then I'm going to tie a bow in the middle. Add some of that same trim to the very top part of the bottle. I'm overhanging it about 3/4 inch at the top so I can tuck all that in. And just make sure your seam matches the seam that you just did. And then just tuck the top part in. And we're going to add another piece right around the bottom to cover up that trim ring too. So I got these deer on Amazon. I'll give you the link for them, and I'm just going to spray paint them with the oil rub bronze paint. I'm going to take these little trees that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to cut the bases off of them. And this is how I'm going to arrange mine. The camera went out when I actually glued them in, but if you can see how I'm arranging this on top, that's exactly how I'm going to arrange it. And I'm sorry that the video cut out, but you're just going to glue these on. Just spend a little bit of time figuring out exactly how you want yours to look. You don't have to do it exactly like this, but this is how I did mine. And I used a variety of different size trees. Okay, then I'm just going to start gluing them on. I'm finding my center point in the front so I can put the largest one in the very back. And then I'm going to make this, kind of tear them down as I go around. Okay, and this is how it looked when I finished. Take the same size circle and paint it oil rub bronze. And then I'm going to start adding some greenery to it, and I'm going to put my bottle in the middle. And I just got this greenery on Amazon. I'll give you the link for it. But you're just going to kind of bend it around, leave room in the front, in the middle for your bottle. But I'm going to go ahead and put the two sides on, and then I'll put the bottle on, and I'll put the last one on after I put my bottle on. This just kind of helped complete it. It just kind of looked funny with just the bottle, so I did end up adding the base. And I'm just going to hot glue and E6000 glue that into the center. And then I'm going to add my other piece of greenery after I get that set. And I know a lot of you asked me what I use on the bottom of my E6000 glue. That's just a toothpaste dispenser. You know, the one where you twist up the bottom. And you can get those on Amazon. And then I'm just going to add my last piece of greenery right to the back. And I added it just like the other. I know you can't see it, but I'm just doing it exactly like I did the other two. And then I'm going to add a few little pine cones just here and there randomly on here just to kind of finish it out. Okay, and that's how that looked. And then I'm going to take some of the Deco Art Snow Text, and I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to rub it on top of the leaves and on the pine cones just to give it a little bit of snow effect. Okay, I think this turned out so pretty. It's just unique looking. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video upload. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.